So we are going to talk about some more edge case type scenarios that you may run across when you are reconciling. Um, if you notice on this screen here, you may see this warning that says your account isn't ready to reconcile yet. Your balance is off by a certain amount of dollars and we can help you fix it. So just a small note, usually when you see things in blue, it means it's a clickable link. So a great place to start is clicking on "We can help you fix it." In most circumstances, there will be something here, but there's about 1% of cases where there's no information they can give you, and you have to proceed with investigating a different way. In this case, we do have some valuable information here. There's a positive 175 and a negative 55 because it was deleted, totaling to the difference of $120 that we see here. We can see what type of transaction it was. On the one on the top, we can see the date it was changed, who it was for, what was paid, and it says what was changed. So if you notice this one on the bottom that says deleted, when things are deleted in QuickBooks, there's really not a lot of information you can dig up about it. So I always suggest people, as often as they can, to avoid deleting, and you can, for most transactions, just void them out to avoid situations like this. If it was voided, you could see more details. This history, often if this is not enough information, you can look at the history and that'll tell you, let's wait for it to open up. I'm glad it opens in a new tab because it's really hard to go back. Okay, so it's telling you what happened by date and time. Every time you make a change, it left a mark. So it's showing you the accounts that were impacted. Initially, it was reconciled, okay? And then something happened and it went from being reconciled, you see that struck out, and it says not cleared and not deposited. So something about this payment is not showing up as cleared or as income. All right, so we've got this information. I suggest printing it out or jotting it down so that you can reference it while you're researching. Let me do that now. Okay, so again, while we're doing this, you want to have your bank statement handy. We're going to go ahead and click done, and then we're going to investigate in the bank register. There are a few ways you can do this. If your bank register is small, you may just want to scroll. If it's big, you can filter. Up here in the top left corner is a funnel. You can search dollar amount. You can search greater than or less than dollar amounts. You can filter by reconcile status. You can filter by type of transaction, the payee, and the date or a date range. For this exercise, it's really not necessary, but I will type in some numbers just so you can see how it works. And you want to be as specific as possible and use the period on the end of numbers. Okay, so it's helpful to see it's just one transaction here. Oh, and I forgot to mention, let me go back. Why this is significant, this is important. Your beginning balance is off. So the beginning balance is calculated automatically by QuickBooks every month that you reconcile. So if the beginning balance is off, that means that a transaction that was previously reconciled was somehow unreconciled. Usually that means it was deleted or pushed out of QuickBooks back into the bank transactions page. And that's why you can't proceed, because the beginning balance is wrong. If you also notice, you can't fill it in. it updates on its own every month. So, for example, if the ending balance for the next month was $500, when you go in, say we've done October, you're doing November, when you go to do December, the beginning balance is going to update to $500. So that's how it works. This feeds the beginning balance. There's very little you can do to change it. All right, let's click on bank register. So with that in mind, we can see here that it's not reconciled. When transactions are reconciled, I'm going to clear this filter out. They have R next to them. And you see, we're reconciled through October, but this transaction all the way back in August is missing an R. So what I suggest doing here is seeing first, making sure you see it on the bank statement. Just do a double check. And then go to the bank transactions page and see if it's in the for review, because it could be a transaction that needs to be matched. I don't see 175, so it looks like that was not the problem. So we're going to go back to the bank register. Now, this is not something that you should do often unless you're 100% certain it needs to be done, but we can verify in this scenario that is supposed to be reconciled. We've checked the bank statement and somehow it was unreconciled. It happens. And so you can click here in this square and then click on it again. It changes it to cleared, but we need it reconciled, so we're going to click on it again, change it to R for reconciled, and be sure to save. Yes. You're going to get these pop-ups, because this really is not an ideal way to do it. It's only in situations where you're fixing mistakes that it may be necessary. And it's going to ask you if you're sure. So you're just going to click yes. Okay. So you can go back to the reconcile page. And then we can see that our balance is updated. Now it's only off at $55. That $175 has disappeared. So we took care of it. Okay, so now we got to worry about the $55. So again, I like to double, triple check everything. I don't see it in here. It did say when we checked earlier that it was deleted. If you had a lot of transactions, you can always type in 55 just to double check. It's not here. And then another place I like to check is up in the search bar, because sometimes transactions are somehow linked to the wrong bank account, which means they won't show up here at all. But as we can see, this is just someone's phone number. It's not in here. The last place we'll check is the bank transactions. And yeah, I see $55 in October. So what you can do is go to the bank register, take your bank statement for October, and make sure that you do see $55 on there in the right date. Go back to bank transactions. I know it seems like it should be obvious, but I've seen situations where not taking the steps to be a little extra thorough has had dire consequences. And I'll also say that I have a type A perfectionist personality. So the way I'm going through thorough and double, triple checking, it could also just be a personality thing. You know, when you get in here, you can decide your level of comfort with how much you want to check before you decide you just need to take action. I've quadruple checked, so I'm confident that this is missing. So I'm going to go ahead and add it in. And we're just going to make up an expense. Supplies, it's book supplies or something. And we're going to add it in, and we're going to go to the bank register. Now, when we add it in, it's not automatically reconciled. That's another step. So now that $55 is in here. So again, we're going to have to click on the C. We're going to have to click it again to change it to an R and click save. There are other ways to do this. that I'm not going to show you in this video because for whatever reason it always confuses people, but it made sense to me. So I click on reconcile, and now that we can help you fix it, warning is gone. The beginning balance is where it needs to be. You can double check your bank statement and make sure, and then you can proceed to November. So I think I'm going to end it here just so it doesn't get too long, and I will see you in the next video.